Hey, what's up guys, it's Marf and welcome back to another video, and today we will be taking a look at Rebel Racing. This is a free-to-play racing game on mobile that just was released. Not sure if there was a soft launch for it. I just saw it in the App Store recently and figured I would give it a try. It is on iOS, not sure if it's out on Android yet, but it should be, if it's not, out real soon. So yeah, like I said, free-to-play, and when I say free-to-play, I mean free-to-play. I mean, everything you could ever hate to see in a mobile game is in this game. You got your fuel system, multiple currencies, you have like a player rating that determines if you can win or lose races, you have an overcomplicated upgrade system, and a very bland tutorial with just pictures of random people showing you how to do very simple things. And of course, it would not be a mobile free-to-play game without loot crates. So yeah, definitely all of the things you hate to see in a mobile game is here, and it's very obvious what this game is trying to be. And yeah, so let me give you guys my kind of first impression slash review of the game so far. I've had a couple hours played and a bunch of races already, and yeah. So first off, let's talk about gameplay. These races are very short, and you'll see footage, of course, in the video. These races mostly last about 30 seconds, and I imagine as you upgrade your car and get better ones, it will only get shorter. While you're playing, you will see a very obvious racing line on the track, and with these tracks there are no multiple routes. There's just one straight road to the finish line, or path to the finish line. It's very obvious where you need to go, and there's no room to sort of like try different routes or anything like that, like I said. And it's just very simple. It feels like a drag racing game at its core. Drifting is very automatic. It's very easy to understeer because it feels as almost there's some sort of steering assist when you go into a drift. I'm not very sure how to describe it, but it just feels awful, to say the least. You constantly, like I said, you understeer all the time, and you try and compensate when you go out of a corner, and you just end up bumping into walls. It doesn't feel good whatsoever. And speaking of steering, there's only one control method, and it's tap to steer. Not my preferred method. Some people like it. However, the point here is that there's no options at all. You can't even tilt to steer, which is very odd to see in a mobile racing game, that it's not there. Like I said, with drifting, it's all automatic, at least somewhat. And not only is drifting automatic, but braking and accelerating are both automatic, and that just adds to the feeling that you're not actually in control of the game. The only real control you have is just turning right and left, and even then, once you start going on the straights, it feels like you don't have much control whatsoever, because it limits you on how far left and right you can go. So there really is no player control whatsoever. Overall, like I said, the gameplay is extremely simple. I thought that Need for Speed No Limits felt like a glorified drag race, but this is even worse. There is no depth whatsoever to this gameplay. It's very simple, like I said. There is a nitro mechanic, but really all it is just a very short burst of speed. Really using it anywhere will give you some speed. Obviously, you would want to use it coming out of a corner or something like that, but besides that, there's no depth to gameplay whatsoever. You can customize your paint to the cars that you own to only specific choices, and there are a few decals you can put on your car, but of course they all cost something or need to be earned through some sort of special event. And so yeah, it is pretty underwhelming, the customization that is in this game. You can't actually put on your own paint job like you can in Asphalt 9. And yeah, any option but besides the factory option will cost you something. So let's talk about the graphics and the experience in general. As you see the gameplay on screen, you can see that the graphics are very simple. There's this weird mix of low poly environments and fairly detailed cars, and it just creates a very weird experience that doesn't mix very well. I imagine that they're trying to bring down the graphics as much as they can in order to save battery life, but it just kind of doesn't feel very good or look very good when you're driving. There is a nice sense of scale to it as you see the mountains in the background, and it is kind of pretty to look at sometimes, but other than that, nothing impressive here. I don't think it even touches Asphalt 9 or really Asphalt 8 or Extreme. And yeah, like I said, cars do have somewhat detailed outsides, however, they're really average in terms of detail, and there is no detailed interior. and it is just your standard mobile game, you know, when it comes to the car details. And the selection of cars at the moment seems fairly small, but hey, you know, they do have roof, which is pretty cool. Asphalt doesn't have roof anymore, but I guess if you want to play with a roof car instead of a Porsche, you can in this game. Yeah, I'm not going to go very in-depth with the economy, but it's just your standard mobile game mess of currencies, events, keys, loot boxes, upgrades, all that sort of stuff. Nothing really surprising here, but it might be even worse than Asphalt in my opinion, because in terms of Asphalt, you really only have blueprints to unlock a car in most cases. I know the Koenigsegg Jesko was a weird one, but for the most part, you just have blueprints and you unlock the car once you reach a certain amount of blueprints. In this game, there are like some sort of imported cars in which you have to use keys to unlock loot crates to get specific cars. Some cars cost gold, some cars you can just outright buy. There's different ways to unlock cars, and overall it just overcomplicates things, just like many mobile games in general. So in terms of audio, the game is even simpler in this department, if you would believe. Engines sound okay, but there is no game music whatsoever, which is very odd for a racing game, and it just makes the game feel very empty. When you jump into a race, you just don't feel anything because there's no music to try and guide your emotions or anything like that. At least in Asphalt, you have the option of music. I mean, you know, you don't have much control over it, but you can just turn it on or off in Asphalt. But in this game, besides menu music, well, there is no music whatsoever. And going back to that menu music, it's very bland and sounds very similar to the bland menu musics of games such as Real Racing 3 or other racing games such as that. I do kind of think the Asphalt menu music is above other games, but that's not really saying that much. In general, Rebel Racing, it's pathetic. Don't play this game. If you're looking for an alternative to Asphalt 9, you definitely will not find it in this game. If anything, it's just something to pick up and play for a couple minutes and then just delete once you start reaching paywalls and barriers and such like that. Overall, I would not recommend you even really download this game. It's not worth your time. Maybe they will provide some updates in the future that changes that, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, I was very excited to see another racing game on the App Store that wasn't just a drag racing game, supposedly, because this really is a glorified drag racing game, but I am very disappointed. Honestly, I almost kind of expected something like this, but it would have been nice to see something more. So yeah, anyway guys, let me know your thoughts on Rebel Racing in the comments down below if you have downloaded it, and be sure to subscribe and also hit that notification bell because YouTube really doesn't like sharing my videos with you for some reason. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.